Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
Hello.
Hi, Lauren. How are you today?
I'm just fine. How are you?
I'm okay. How's the weather where you are?
The weather. Listen, I have Ugg slippers on for the first time. I'm not a fashionista or anything like that. I have a pair of Ugg slippers that I've been wearing and because it doesn't stay cold here very long, I think this is maybe their fourth winter. But happy to pull them out of the closet.
Good for you. Instagram, you could find the Wilder Show podcast on Instagram. Search Wilder Show Pod, and you'll find it there, and we invite you to like it and all those things. If you want to send us an email, just email to podcast@wildershow.com. It's podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays at 6 a.m. Central or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And we're also on the TikTok now and again. You can find us there at Wilder Show or Wilder Show Podcast on the TikTok. Big stuff today. This is a very, very big story and has all kinds of implications. So let me go down. So what we're talking about, and then we'll dive into some of the stories. The NBA raid that took place is huge. It involves the mafia. I thought it didn't exist.
That's
mafia.
what I thought.
The guy,
It's a made-up thing.
Southeastern District of New York, as they were announcing all the charges and the indictments, they talked about La Cosa Nostra. I thought, what? So it involves the mafia, and well, we'll dive into that. Peace in the Middle East. Marco Rubio is over there, and the son-in-law, and also other negotiators to try and keep the fragile peace intact. So maybe we'll get into some of that. There's been a change in the definition of obesity.
I've seen that.
We're going to wake up like in a couple of days, and even more of us will be obese. With the new definition, we'll talk a little bit about that. Only one country is now left with no mosquitoes. There used to be two.
I did not know that there was a place.
In the world.
Can I get my ticket?
Yep, I'll tell you.
I didn't know there was an escape.
I'll tell you about that.
Okay.
Autumn leaves and the colors. What causes the colors to change? It's not what you think it is. It's not what I always thought it was.
I know you're very proud of this story.
Well,
as you should be.
Well, what's funny is when you and I were talking about this, I thought, no, I don't think that's it. It seems like it's tied to something else. And I dove back in, and I was reminded of, I guess, what I'd seen or heard before. And I find it very, very interesting. We'll get to what are you watching in Scattershoot?
Okay.
And why do you love the music that you love? I've had a thought about that for a long time. And I think, Lauren, you have some information. I can't wait to find out. So that's all coming up on the Wilder Show podcast. The NBA gambling scandal. Let me give you the details. I'm sure by now you know probably what happened, but it was yesterday, October 23rd, so yesterday. Federal authorities indicted 31 people as part of two interrelated investigations, and here's what one of them was. One was a sports betting conspiracy where allegedly used non-public information about NBA players and teams, for example, who would sit out or exit early to place bets. Let me give you an example. One of the things you can bet on, all these little micro bets you can make now. They have
during a game,
even during a game or before a game. It was like an over/under. How many points will so and so player make in a game? And when they find out that, well, somebody may know that person's going to be pulled, or maybe that person is involved and they feign an injury and they come out of the game early as they are under, and the people have known he's going to be under. Yeah. And everybody else would have expected, no, it's going to be over. He'll be over 22 points. It's not a big deal. And he comes out at 18 points.
Right.
That's the kind of thing we're talking about, sports betting conspiracy charge. The other is an underground poker operation backed by mafia crime families, the Bonanno family, or Bonanno crime family, Gambino crime family, and Genovese crime family. I didn't even know they still existed like this.
You didn't know that the families existed
I thought they busted all the. I thought it all blew up when Sammy the Bull Gravano sort of busted up the whole John Gotti thing. Anyway, here are the folks involved in the NBA gambling scandal. Chauncey Billups, he's the current head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and he's alleged to have been involved in the poker scheme side. Terry Rozier, who's a current player for the Miami Heat, he is allegedly involved in the insider betting side. For example, would Terry Rozier have known that he wanted to keep his points under in a particular game? So according to one indictment, defendants used, quote, a network of straw bettors to place maximum wagers, laundered illicit winnings via bank wires, peer-to-peer platforms, and cash exchanges. Anyway, the FBI described the operation as one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized. Now, there are lots of things that talk about why this matters, but the one that we've talked about before, and that is NIL, the NIL money that goes to college athletes. I don't know if you saw recently, I think it was this week, restrictions on college players betting in professional sports were lifted. So now you have these college students that are getting NIL money, millions of dollars in some cases, and they've been freed up to bet in pro sports. And in some cases, they may be 1 year away from being in that professional sport, right?
Wow.
So those students, those student athletes that have this NIL money, might they certainly be targeted by mafia, by corruption to get them involved? This is why I said stay away from all the sports gambling. It's not a good idea.
No.
Anyway, it touches really two big concerns for the NBA: integrity of competition. In other words, if players and coaches or insiders can manipulate the game or game participation, injuries, exits, or cheat in the poker operations tied to sports stars, then, of course, they don't trust anymore. The other is gambling exposure. Widespread legal sports betting across the U.S. obviously opens up opportunities for abuse, especially when non-public info or organized crime gets involved. So the involvement of the alleged mafia crime families adds the amazing criminal organization dimension, RICO, not just isolated misconduct. So those that have been indicted, they face federal charges, wire fraud, money laundering, conspiracy. Those are big charges. I mean, will mean something huge. The NBA responded. The league will likely impose suspension or bans, possibly revise the rules around gambling, player participation disclosures, monitoring of insider information. Anyway, reputation risk, regulatory impact. All these things are things to be considered by the NBA, but it is a very big story, and it just broke yesterday. There was a day when you had really three diagnoses that have now been sort of have come together in one. The new one is autism spectrum disorder. The old one was autistic disorder, so someone is autistic or a person with autism.
Right.
One was Asperger's syndrome, and one was something that's really hard and at the other extreme, and it is pervasive development disorder, PDD, not otherwise specified. So it's like, I don't know. And that's NOS. So PDD, NOS. Anyway, those three categories used to be different things. So if you said, do you have autism or does the person have autism? That was a smaller group. Well, in 2013, they combined all that and made it like one big umbrella.
Okay.
And they said, okay, well, if you're any of these things, you're now something called autism spectrum disorder. It's like a single diagnosis that covers a pretty wide range. So you say, well, that must mean that the numbers went up. They did.
Sure.
The number of people that are ASD include people that were in this and in this and in this, and they're now all together suffering from or having been diagnosed with ASD. So what are the numbers? In 2000, it was about 0.67% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 1 in 150. In 2010, it was 1 in 68.
Yeah.
Once they changed it, it's now at 1 in 34. So what that means is in 2 decades, the measured prevalence quadrupled in just those
That's
2 decades.
Bunch.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
Just one other point about ASD, autism spectrum disorder, and that's this. You say, well, why are more people today have ASD than had before? There's something going on. It's not really true. It's that the diagnosis changed. So more people are included in that category of the people that could be under that diagnosis.
And is that the whole of it? Is it really true that there are not, even if we went back and we made the definition the same as it was in 2000, would it still be true? Have we ruled out all other external factors that might really mean there are more children being born today that have autism spectrum disorder? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Is it all that, or is that just kind of a contributing mm-hmm. factor?
Several factors. One is, even if there are more people getting or developing autism, mm-hmm. what we know is the definition being expanded is going to necessarily increase the number of people.
Yeah.
The other thing is awareness, detection methods. Those have all changed over time. Mm-hmm. We can find these things out before. And someone who might otherwise have gone undiagnosed, you say, well, he's kind of a little off.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with
mm-hmm.
him. He's kind of off. They may never go for a diagnosis.
Right.
So it might always have been that he had it, but he didn't get diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we have that with ASD, and drawing sort of the circle bigger, autism spectrum disorder, it has, according to reports, significantly increased the number of those who were diagnosed compared with those earlier definitions and the earlier diagnostic systems. Here's a good example. Some kids who might have before been labeled as having something called intellectual disability or language disorder, they're now diagnosed with ASD, mm-hmm. Which says we have a better understanding of the overlapping traits and all this kind of
sure.
stuff. So it's a combination of some. More diagnoses among girls, ethnic minorities, and adults who were historically underdiagnosed because of that early, that's what I'm talking about. The early judging criteria were based mainly on male behavior patterns.
Yeah.
So we didn't know. We know more now.
Yeah.
But to your point before, according to what I'm looking at, there is no solid evidence that autism itself, as the neurodevelopmental condition, is increased due to environmental or biological causes at the population level. Nothing. Instead, it's broader definitions, greater awareness and services, and improved reporting and diagnostic practices.
Okay.
Which I think is actually good news.
Mm-hmm.
So with that out of the way, just remembering that when you change the definition of something, you change the number of people that are that mm-hmm. In both directions. If you narrow it, then there will be fewer. If you broaden it, there will be more.
If you have a really big umbrella and it's raining,
exactly.
you can fit more people under it than if you have a small umbrella.
That's right.
It's the umbrella. You need something dumbed down. I can help.
No, not at all.
I can help with that.
That's not dumb. That's making it understandable. That's why you're here. Historically, obesity, we're talking about obesity.
Yeah.
Obesity has most commonly been defined as the BMI. That's a body mass index.
Yes.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
That is your weight divided by your height squared. Okay?
Okay.
So the World Health Organization, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have sort of set a threshold. This equals obesity. Now, BMI is simple, it's inexpensive, it's easy to compute, and it's useful. But BMI has been also criticized. So it doesn't really distinguish between fat and muscle on the body. Mm-hmm. Your body mass index doesn't really, someone very muscular.
I just know that muscle weighs more than fat,
sure.
and you can be muscular. Yeah. Two people standing next to each other dressed can mm-hmm. really look the same. Mm-hmm. But if you're not aware of what the muscle mass is of mm-hmm. one of those people, they can weigh more,
right.
and it's because they have
mm-hmm.
more muscle mass.
Some very, as you say, some very muscular may have a high BMI, but low body fat. So it doesn't capture fat distribution. I mean, where fat is located, for example, which is important for health risk.
Oh, yeah.
Where is your weight gathered? So it also may not fully account for differences by age, by sex, by ethnicity, by body composition. Some of us have a body composition of this sort of shape. And if that's your sort of shape, then the collection of your mass might be in one area, and some people are different.
Yeah.
So because of those things, using BMI alone has led to, in some cases, what's called a misclassification. So somebody could have a normal BMI, but because of their fat distribution, they could have a high risk.
Sure.
So that means there are some people that are sort of getting away with it. You pass the BMI test, but you're still at risk. And wouldn't we want to know if people are at risk? So conversely, people with high BMI could also have a lower risk. So whenever you change the definition of something, whether it's disease or disorder or a condition, when you broaden it, you're going to have more people that will fall under that umbrella that you talked about. And when you narrow it, you have fewer people that will meet that criteria. So here's sort of the bottom line. They're moving away from BMI alone. It's a multi-component thing. Obesity will be some combination of BMI plus waist, hip, height ratios, plus body fat measurement where you can get it. New categories aim to reflect the stage and the risk of the condition, not just the number on the scale. But it will result in more of us being deemed to be obese. And what does that mean? Well, it can mean a lot of things when it comes to health policy, right? How many people in America are obese? Well, how do you define obese? Did you change all of a sudden the way? We didn't all of a sudden go from X number of people in America are obese to 4 days later when the definition changes being this number of people. It was the same number.
Yeah. So do we really know that this new definition of obesity or new criteria for what is or isn't obese, that it will increase the number of people who are obese?
Yes, it will. In fact, do you know what the current percentage is of U.S. adults that have been classified as obese?
Ooh.
It's much higher than I would have thought.
I would guess, I'll guess half.
It's actually 43%.
Okay.
Okay. And this is under the old system. The old system, which is a BMI only, BMI of 30 or greater.
Okay.
And you say, well, what the heck is BMI? BMI is that thing we talked about. It is the body mass index is your weight in pounds times 703. Then you take that total and you divide it by your height in inches squared. Okay, so take a person, for example, who's 5'9". 5'9" is 69 inches. Right?
Yep.
5 times 12 is 60, plus a 9, 69. 69 inches. You take 69 inches and you square it. That means you times itself, as we said in third grade.
Yeah.
You multiply times itself. So 69 times 69, whatever that is.
4,761.
Okay, hold on to that.
Okay.
Now, you're going to take your weight. In this case, it's a guy that weighs 203 pounds. So you take your weight in pounds and you multiply that by 703, okay? Your weight, 203, times, because that's the weight of the person in the example, times 703, what is that number?
142,709.
Okay, take that big number and divide it by the other number. I'm going to say again what we just did. We're calculating BMI, that's your weight in pounds times 703, divided by your height in inches, squaring that.
Right.
And what is that number?
29.97.
There you go. That's 30. That's a BMI of 30. Now, 30 or higher is currently, under what's about to change, obese.
Yeah.
You're underweight if your BMI is 18.5. Your healthy weight if you're between 18.5 and 25. Between 25 and 29 or 25 and 30, you're overweight but not yet obese. But if you're 30 or greater, that is obese, according to what is about to change. And we already said 43% of Americans are at that number already or greater. So if it's currently at 43% and they're changing it, from weight and height only to BMI plus waist size plus fat percentage plus health effects. That number this is what I'm saying. You're going to wake up one day and you're in the category.
Yeah.
Goes from 43% to 69%.
Wow.
So, yeah, it is going up. We know that it is going up. It is going up. So, under the new measure, a person who might be considered obese, even if their BMI is below 30, for example, if they carry excess like abdominal fat, their waist is over 40 for men or over 35 for women, or have signs of some metabolic stress, those people would be in that category.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting.
It doesn't mean I say this with respect, it doesn't mean you're heavier. It means the definition has changed.
Yeah.
And of course, whether you were already in that category or you're newly welcomed to the club, we all should do a little bit more to whittle that down.
Take better care of ourselves, maybe. Yeah.
Mm. And real quick, Marco Rubio, I mentioned Marco Rubio, the son-in-law, what's his name? Jared
Kushner?
Yeah, Jared Kushner and others, the real officials, are also in Israel trying to keep this fragile peace deal sort of glued together. You know, they're over there meeting with or in proximity to Bibi Netanyahu. You know what they call this? Because they're afraid they're gonna lose this peace. They got this little time. They're just trying to get to phase 2 of this peace deal. Now remember, Hamas has not disarmed. Hamas, that is the biggest thing, actually. They probably wait a little longer if they needed to on the bodies of, sadly, those hostages who have died or been killed. However, Hamas not disarming is going to be the sticking point. But what we're doing over there is trying to keep it all together, trying to talk to one group, say, hey, take it easy, cool down. Talk to the other group, say, hey, take it easy, cool down. They call it babysitting. Babysitting. If they're trying to calm down Bibi Netanyahu, we sent the delegation over to babysit. Oh, it is time already for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scattershoot. Here we go. All right. Lauren, what do we have for us, our Scattershoot?
Well, we have some good news if you are a House Hunters fan.
Is that's a TV show?
That you know what House Hunters is. You have to know what House Hunters is.
Is that the one with the twins, the two guys?
No, that's a different. No, that's a different home. That's
is it the one with the
show.
Joe and Gaines and the Chip and
that's not that either.
Okay,
let me just tell you what it is. It's the one where at the beginning there is usually a couple. Sometimes it's a single person looking for a new home. Sometimes there's also House Hunters International. So House Hunters is just somewhere in America, a couple or a single person is looking for a new home, and they will see. They have a list of criteria, things that they must have in their new home.
Okay.
And so they'll look at 3 different houses. A realtor will show them 3 different houses, and they will choose which one. And you get to guess along the way. I think they're going to love that one. I think they're not going to like this one so much. And then, and then at the end, you get to find out which house they picked. It doesn't sound nearly as exciting when I tell you about it as it is when I'm spending a Saturday afternoon in front of a House Hunters marathon.
So this is sort of like the singing contest, but with houses.
It's not really at all like that, but I can understand why you might come up with that. You really don't know what House Hunters is?
I've never watched House Hunters.
HGTV, they announced that they picked up 400 half-hour installments of House Hunters and House Hunters International, and I guess that these will be heretofore unseen, or maybe they've just been on other networks or something like that. I don't know, but these are going to be new to HGTV.
Well, if you mentioned international, obviously those are ones that perhaps I say we. I haven't seen any of them, but
yeah,
those are ones that maybe were not shown.
No, we see those too.
Oh, do you see those?
We see those too. So you get to see somebody, want a new, like an apartment in Paris.
I see.
And they want it to be walkable. They want it to be near the city center is a phrase that I hear quite a bit. Most of the time, people who leave America to go get an apartment in a foreign city are shocked by how small they are. In other countries, I think people live with in far less space overall than we do here. You don't see a lot of double sinks in bathrooms in apartments in Paris. They have other charms, of course, but space is not one of them.
Some will be looking forward to seeing more episodes of, what's the name of it? House Hunters.
That's true. House Hunters.
House Hunters.
And House Hunters International.
Got it. I got it. Okay, we want to talk about what are you watching?
Okay.
Sort of our little segment. Every now and then want to say, because I only watch stuff because it's on. And
you've never seen House Hunters or House Hunters International.
In theory, we're coming up on leaf-changing time of year. Not here, of course, but some places. And we've been before, and you've been before. I've been before to places that are just lovely, just tremendous. Been to
have whole seasons of leaf watching. Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing. You go and you can't believe it. It's just so nice, and I always feel a little bit bad to speak of my home state this way, but I go, man, we don't have anything like this here.
Right.
And so you may have wondered, what is it that causes the leaves to change colors? And I think most people have thought, well, the leaves change colors because it starts to get
cold.
Yeah.
I thought the change in temperature is what brought out the different color in the leaves.
And because we stay warmer longer.
Such a long time.
We don't have that. That's not what happens. Leaf loss in autumn is not triggered by temperature. It is triggered by the autumnal equinox date itself.
That's so crazy.
Think about that for a second. Now, I'm not saying that weather doesn't play a role. It plays a role, but it's not strictly weather changes. Instead, it's primarily by the biological response in trees to the day length, called the photoperiod, the day length, and the temperature signals, but it doesn't cause it. So here's how it works. Day length. As the days grow shorter after the summer solstice, trees sense the decreasing daylight through something called photochrome.
Sure.
Photochrome is the pigments in their leaves. So that tells the tree, hey, get ready for winter. Get ready for dormancy. Slow down food production. And it eventually cuts off the nutrients to the leaves to then keep it for the winter.
All right.
So instead of the food going to the leaves, as the days get shorter, the tree goes, I'm not going to share as much food with the leaves.
So that's why the color changes.
That's right. Now, the cooler nights will speed up the process, but the temperature doesn't cause the leaf to drop. If there's a cold snap in the middle of the summer, it won't make the tree shed the leaves, right? But it's consistently shorter days plus cooler temps. The combination can do it, but it's not cooler temperatures alone. And remember this, as we get closer to winter, temperatures do get cooler.
Sure.
We're not talking about whether they both happen at the same time. We're talking about whether one brings on the other. Do the leaves fall off the trees because it's getting colder? No. So day length is one. That's the photoperiod we talked about. The second is temperature. Cooler nights will speed up the process or slow the process down, but it doesn't bring it about. Does that make sense?
It does.
So the length of the day is what gets it going. The tree goes, hey, dormancy's coming, winter's coming, but with consistently shorter days plus some cooler temperatures, they can impact it. But it's not the cool temperatures that cause it. The third part is the changes in the tree itself. What trees do is they form a little tiny layer at the base of each leaf stem where it's attached to the tree. If you go out and find them as they've fallen off, you'll see this. It's almost a little cork-like thing where it's attached to the tree. And what happens is that little thing blocks off the flow of water and nutrients to the leaf. Mm-hmm. So as that's happening, that's when it's basically, you know this, as a leaf falls to the ground, it is because it died. So you're watching a leaf die when you watch the colors change. That is death coming to every leaf. Uh-huh. So the chlorophyll breaks down, the green disappears, the yellows appear, then the oranges, then the reds. Eventually, that little cork thing, it's called an abscission layer. It fully severs the leaf, and it weakens the leaf's ability to stay on the tree. So what happens? It falls off when it's windy.
That makes sense.
Weather influences the timing and the vibrancy of the leaf drop, but it is not the primary driver. So a warm, wet autumn means longer leaf retention. Cool summer days with chilly nights, brighter fall colors. Early frost or drought, dull colors, and faster drop. Mm-hmm. That's what we have in Texas.
Yeah.
We have the ladder thing. So leaf loss in autumn is mainly controlled by seasonal changes in daylight rather than temperature.
Makes sense.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know.
Now you know. There will not be a test at the end of the podcast, though.
I don't think I could pass it.
I bet you could. We lost a great American artist last week, and you might not recognize his name, but you would most certainly recognize his art.
Is it like painting, or is it photography, or is it acting, or is it,
Painting, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a painter
Illustrations,
died, Illustrations. Mm-hmm. An illustrator died last week, and I would know
October
his work.
13th, yeah.
October 13th.
You would definitely know his work. I bet your imagination was lit up by more than one or two pieces of his work.
Golly, I don't know.
Drew Struzan died on October 13th.
Drew Struzan.
78 years old, years-long battle with Alzheimer's disease. Movie posters.
Oh, he did.
Star Wars.
Oh, you're kidding. He was the guy.
Indiana Jones.
I love it.
The entire Indiana Jones franchise.
Wow.
Back to the Future.
Golly.
There are others, too. He said he actually started his career designing album covers for Bee Gees, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wow.
But in 1978, his career was jump-started when Lucasfilm asked him to co-design a poster for the re-release of the Star Wars film. He had an ability to express this sense of adventure that was crucial to the movie's success. And there are a few quotes in this obituary that I read that were so cool because it's so much more. You know, we look at these posters and we think, well, that's really great. And you can see all of the fine detail in it. And some of them are really iconic. I mean, if you asked me before I saw this, what did the Back to the Future movie poster look like? I remember.
Sure,
I
me too,
remember,
yeah, for sure.
Marty McFly looking at his watch, and the time bending behind him. He said, telling the story in a poster is wrong for the movie. I was never looking to tell a story. I'm looking to give a person a feeling about something they could hope for.
Interesting.
Doesn't that just, I miss,
That's super.
I love going to the movies.
Yeah, I know you do.
Love that we have so many opportunities to stream things. But I read that and it makes me feel the way I feel walking into a movie theater. And maybe the last thing you see before you go in is the poster on the wall outside, or maybe just outside the theaters. The movie posters are there. There's a theater that I go to often that has old movie posters, along the hallway where you walk into the theaters. And just to know that somebody, probably not everybody, but somebody who was really great at doing what they did was thinking about something like that when they did the poster. I can't give it away, but it has to be enough that you're drawn into it and you're hoping for something great.
That's great.
So,
Farewell.
Drew Struzan passed away on October 13th after a long and very fruitful career.
Speaking of movies and such, Let's talk about what are you watching? I've got 3 I can share. I did watch the Murdaugh trial.
Yeah.
So the Murdaugh trial, I watched the whole thing. That's the guy, the guy in South Carolina that, he took care of his wife and his son.
Terrible.
It's a terrible story.
Yeah.
But I did watch the trial. I just found the trial fascinating. And as there have been these little miniseries or documentaries or whatever, I think I've watched all of them. There's another one on right now, and I think it's on maybe Hulu on Wednesdays. I think they've done 4 episodes so far, and it's got what's her name that was in Severance, the blonde.
Patricia Arquette.
I love Patricia Arquette.
She's in one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, which is
although it didn't make my top 4 when I tried to winnow it down to top 4. Boyhood.
Oh yeah. Oh golly.
Yeah.
That's a whole separate conversation. So she's in it, and she plays the wife there in the limited series. Anyways, so I like her. But I've watched some of those things, not because I need more. I know the whole story. But I sometimes want to know, okay, are they going to be true to the story?
Yeah.
Because I know the story. I watched the whole thing. I mean, weeks.
Are they true to it so far?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much true to it. And it's so that's one thing I'm watching. Do you want to go next, or you want me to?
I think that I might be more defined right now by what I'm not going to watch.
Okay, tell me.
Yesterday, 2nd season of Nobody Wants This was released on Netflix.
I don't know anything about that.
I'm pretty sure. Well, you and I have talked about it because we talked about it when the 1st season came out, and everybody loved that show so much.
It's called Nobody Wants This.
Nobody Wants This. It was a rom-com, Kristen Bell, Adrian Brody, so many. I'm
not a big fan of Kristen Bell.
12 episodes, 10 episodes. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan either. There are so many things that to me were offensive about it, and not in the way that many people I think would find it offensive.
Right.
I just didn't. I couldn't see. I could see what she might find attractive about his character. She plays a podcaster.
Oh boy.
So many things wrong. Are the little bit of podcasting that you and I have done. It's not realistically told at all. Plus, in real life, she's married to a podcast, a pretty successful podcaster. Right. One might wonder why he never, gave a note on that. Like you might make that a little bit more realistic.
Technical advisor. You're sleeping with a technical advisor, and you get it wrong on the XLR plugs.
And not just on season 1, but then again on season 2, or so I've heard, because I've already heard some reviews of it, but I've not watched any of it, and I've not watched all of season 1. At the time, I think I said I will watch it, so you don't have to. I can tell you about it.
That's true.
It was understandable to me why her character would be attracted to the guy who is a rabbi, a young, good-looking, devout rabbi.
Okay,
but his faith means something to him. He's, more than means something. He's dedicated his life to it. She really believes in nothing. She's not a very nice person. That's not me just saying she's not a nice person.
Yeah, right.
She spends much of the series trying to figure out something. I think she winds up rescuing a dog just so that she can say she's done one thing. Yeah. And it just didn't make sense to me that he would be attracted to her and that he would be, I won't give up. I won't spoil anything for anybody. But now, it's not, like I said, it's not just everybody that I know. I think it might have been one of the most streamed things on Netflix last year. And they're anticipating this to be, they dropped all of the episodes so you can watch the whole thing tonight. But I'm not going to watch it. It's just, there's nothing about it that, and plus I'm sure I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure there's plenty of objectionable language.
Oh, sure.
Plenty of other reasons to not watch it. I just don't find, there's nothing believable about it. For me, nothing authentic.
Didn't find it genuine.
I didn't find it genuine. No, I didn't.
We probably should remind that we are not endorsing any of these shows.
No,
we're not telling you to watch anything.
No,
make up your own mind, do your own research, because it's hard to find anything anymore that doesn't have something objectionable. I mean, after you've seen The Chosen, I mean, that of course is there. Beyond the kinds of things, you're going to find something that is potentially objectionable. But let me tell you, The Diplomat is out. Diplomat season 3.
Have not watched that. I mean, I saw the first 2 seasons, but I haven't seen the
Just
third season.
A real quick thing. The Diplomat, I won't give anything away, but The Diplomat, season 1, I didn't like very much at all. Season 2, I liked quite a bit. Mm-hmm. At the end, when Allison Janney got in, everybody's acting ability went right up.
Yeah.
And all I will say is, it came out on a Friday. I think it came out last Friday. The Diplomat came out last Friday. Mm-hmm. And what did you ask me on Monday?
If you'd seen it all.
And I had.
You had.
I watched the whole thing.
I didn't even really have to ask.
I watched the whole thing. It's only 8 seasons. It's only eight episodes.
That's 8.
It's 8 hours. Well, I mean, but you know what? If you watch 2 football games over the weekend, it's almost 8 hours.
Yeah, I
just didn't have 2 baseball
did that
games.
Too.
I did, but anyway. The Diplomat season 3. I'll just give you my overview. Good. If it's your bag, if you liked season 2, I think you'll like season 3. There are enough things in it that I don't like. I don't like very much some things about her, the character she plays. I like her. I like some of the actors that are in it. But I thought it was a nice little ride. It was just a weekend away, and I watched it because it was on, and watched it all over the weekend. It dropped, and I watched it all.
You were there.
Mm-hmm.
It dropped, and you caught it.
Yeah.
There's a little mini West Wing reunion in it, isn't there?
There is. And let me just say this. It's not just the actors. Mm-hmm. You have Allison Janney. First of all, I've tried to watch, I love, what's his name? Aaron Sorkin. I think Aaron Sorkin is a great writer. We disagree on that.
Yeah.
But you like a lot of things that he did and go, oh, yeah, he did that. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you don't know, you go, oh, yeah, I like this. What's in it? Anchovies. Ooh, I don't like anchovies.
I think he's a really good writer. I just think that he has a tendency to write for actors and not necessarily the way people talk.
I liked, he did Newsroom. I liked him in Newsroom. Mm-hmm. He did West Wing. I never really could get into West Wing. I tried.
I didn't really, I've seen an episode here and there.
I went back and tried to get into it. But anyway, the actors that are there, Allison Janney.
Bradley Whitford.
Bradley Whitford. Mm-hmm. Okay. Bradley Whitford plays her husband in Diplomat.
Yes.
But it doesn't stop there. Alex Graves, who is the director, Alex Graves was a director on some of the West Wings.
Oh, wow.
Alex Graves was a director on some of Homeland. He did some Game of Thrones. He did The Newsroom, which we enjoy, which also brings back Aaron Sorkin. Aaron Sorkin, who wrote West Wing, and Alex Graves was the director. Aaron Sorkin tapped Alex Graves to direct Newsroom,
right?
Which I think we both really enjoyed. So anyway, I'm watching that. I'm not saying I'm watching that. I've watched that, and so I'm done with that. And one thing I am going to watch, I think tonight, Friday. Maybe not tonight because the World Series begins tonight.
Oh, that's right.
And we get to watch the 2 national anthems. Probably 2 of the greatest national anthems. God Save the Queen, or whatever they do it in the UK is a pretty good one too. But boy, Oh Canada is a really great one. And of course, ours is good, great, the best. So we'll see that tonight with the World Series beginning. Go America in the World Series. But if not tonight, soon, the Catherine Bigelow thing, House of Dynamite, drops today. Mm-hmm. And I will be watching that sometime over the weekend, maybe after the World Series tonight.
I did finish my 15-season rewatch of ER. I think we might have talked. Last time we did this, I might have told you I was in the somewhere in the middle.
Did it end the same as the first time you watched it?
It ended the same as the first time I watched it, but I did realize there were several years kind of in the mid, well, more towards the end than in the middle, when my kids were all high school age-ish, doing lots of things, and I missed a whole lot there.
Really?
Towards the end, yeah. But so it was good to get to see it.
I want to get to the mosquito thing in a second. There's only one country left that has no mosquitoes, where mosquitoes don't exist. There were two.
So there were two, and somebody messed it up for that other.
I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay.
The usual suspects. We'll talk about that. But you had some about music.
You and I have talked about this so many times over the years. What decade had the best music? What makes us like the music from one decade more than the music from another decade? What kind of, what shapes our, not just our taste, but the things that we kind of stay attached to over the course of our lives?
For me, I think we've talked about this before. For me, I was born in 61. And so for me, it was really from the time I was about, let's say from 1968. Yeah. Because I still remember songs that I heard on the radio in 1968. So 1968, the songs before that are okay too. But when I like the time, and I'm not saying the best songs in the world, but the ones that are stuck, that I am stuck to, are those. They are from 68 to about 78 minus disco, though in reflection, some of that disco stuff plays better than I would imagine. I mean, hear ABBA today. Okay. You go, well, that's not that bad. I
kind of wonder if that is because maybe you didn't love it at the time, but now when you hear it, you associate it with that time in your life, and it's a pleasant memory.
I think that's probably true.
So it turns out that it's kind of it's genetic why we are attached to the things that we are attached to. Men tend to form an attachment to the music that they were listening to or that they enjoyed when they were around the age of 16. Now, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Yeah, this is a generalization. But they did talk to people in 84 countries. 2,000 people in 84 countries were studied to come to these conclusions. For women, well, first let me tell you why it is so for men, for young men. It's often tied to the first little bits of maybe teenage rebellion or breaking away. Yeah. And they expressed that they might now for the first time be listening to music that is different from what their parents listened to, and maybe music that their parents don't like.
Sure. Yeah,
and that's a way to sort of set yourself apart, and you're becoming your own person in terms of it's symbolic of other ways that you might be starting to become your own person, being a little more independent. For women, it happens more at the age of 19. That has to do with the emotional and social things that take longer to develop, and the kind of relationships that young women are having when they're 19, and the things they associate with the music that they're listening to. Another thing that I thought was kind of interesting, I tried to think of the songs that I really loved the most, and I wouldn't say that they're necessarily the songs that I was listening to when I was 19. I remember a lot of those songs though, because I was working in a record store when I was 19. So I have a lot of memories tied to that. The things that, because one of the coolest things about it was you get to play the music that we were listening to in the store. Yeah. So if you were, especially if you were the most senior employee at the store, you'd take 5 albums and put them on the, you remember how you used to put them on, you'd stack them up there, and then they'd drop one at a time. And then when they were all done, you'd flip them all over and play the other sides of all of them. So I have a lot of memories of that. But another thing that they found that I thought was kind of interesting, men tend to revert back to those same songs and consider them their favorites, consider that the best music, the music of their lifetime, and they might not listen to as much modern music. They don't form attachments to other songs that they listen to in the next decades of their lives. Women are more likely to do that, to listen to new music and to form attachments to those songs, associate them with other special things in their lives, and kind of like them as much. They become a part of the story of our lives in ways that doesn't happen for men.
My first thought when you say that is, you get in the car with Dad and you're listening to Dad's music. Yeah. Mom is in the car with the kids and she listens to the kids' music. So she could see her. I mean, maybe moms, back when were, that really, really loved listening to Kiss 106, but maybe not. Maybe it's because the kids like that music. They wanted to be sort of in touch with what the kids like. And hey, Mom, you'll love this song. And probably to a lesser degree, people would say, hey, Dad, come listen to this song. You're going to love Brittany. She's great. And moms may be open to it. So maybe that's it. Dad's a little more stuck, kind of held on to the things that were most meaningful to us for a longer period of time.
Maybe that's why kids know. Generally, again, we have to say these are all really general things. But if the kids know that dad really likes this music from a specific decade, a specific time in his life, they might be less likely to say, hey, listen to this song.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's true.
I did listen to a lot of the music that my kids listened to. There was plenty of it that I didn't. That I don't continue to listen to now. I remember a bunch of songs that are familiar to me. I can tie them to a year when my kids sort of stopped listening to Radio Disney and started listening to top 40 music or pop music or whatever we would call it. I have really specific memories of those things. And, I'm not sitting in the car with my kids anymore, although every once in a while I am. I can still be kind of influenced by something that they like that I wouldn't normally even be introduced to if it weren't for them. So I look at that kind of as a good thing.
Sure. No, could I just I was chatting with ChatGPT last night.
Yeah.
And actually it's a long story. I was researching something. Maybe we'll talk about it on a future podcast, but you talk about a rabbit hole. Goodness gracious. But as I was getting a palate cleanser, I said, okay, give me the top 20 songs from 1972.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
We go from 20 down to number 1. Heart of Gold, Neil Young.
Neil Young, yeah.
I'll Take You There.
Great song.
A Horse with No Name. I Can See Clearly Now.
Great song.
If You Don't Know Me By Now, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Man, oh man.
A little comeback of Chuck Berry, My Ding-a-Ling. A Gallery, So Nice to Be With You. Chai Lights, Oh Girl, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. Al Green's great Let's Stay Together. Daddy, Don't You Walk So Fast from Wayne Newton. Isn't that weird? Brand New Key from Melanie. Mac Davis's Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me. Bill Withers, Lean on Me. Joe Tex, I Got You. Candyman, Sammy Davis Jr.
More than half of those songs, I scratched up whatever it was, 98 cents plus tax to buy the single to take home and have for my very own.
Rounding at the top of the final 4, Without You, Nilsson. Don McLean, American Pie.
Oh, great song.
My birthday buddy, Gilbert O'Sullivan, and Alone Again Naturally, the saddest song ever written. And number 1 was Roberta Flack, First Time Ever I Saw Your Face.
Man, oh man.
You talk about what was that? Was that good? That was 1972.
So,
and there were the top 20 for the year.
1972, 9 years later, when I was a junior in high school, one of the greatest English teachers, one of the greatest teachers I ever had in high school, she took American Pie and she explicated it like it was a poem and explained. I mean, the hardest thing for me to imagine about that is that song was only 9 years old at the time. But she told us what everything meant. And
cool.
So many things that I didn't know, but I remember to this day. And of course, I mean, it made everything else that we did that year, every other poem that we might not have ever chosen to read on our own, but when you figured out what it meant, it just meant so much more when you knew what it meant. You know, it was like unlocking a foreign language. Mosquitoes.
Now they are in almost every place on Earth.
Where are they? Where are they not?
Well, they I'll tell you where they're not in a second. But one of the places that they were just found at or in or on. In which they were found? On which they were found? Iceland. Okay. They were previously not in Iceland. I say country, I meant continent. But Iceland, they are now in Iceland. Scientists say this could be a direct result of, guess what? What? Rising global temperatures, creating conditions warm enough for mosquitoes to survive in places once far too cold. Let me pause that real quick and just say they always find a way to say something like that. People who believe in that, I assume they believe in evolution. You'd have to, if you believe in climate change, you have to believe in evolution. So why couldn't it be that this is simply the advancement of the mosquitoes? Mosquitoes have become stronger, and they can live perhaps in colder environs than they could have before. Why does it have to be the evil global warming? I thought you liked the evolution of all the animals. Experts are calling it a wake-up call, of course, for the world. If insects that thrive in warmth can now survive in Iceland, it shows how fast the planet's climate is changing. Isn't it? Look, even in Texas, you got to get down below 25 hard freeze. In the wintertime in Texas, you can still find mosquitoes.
Rarely, though.
They don't die all the time.
That's one of my favorite things about the winter, though.
Oh,
is that
I
there
agree.
are no.
We need hard freezes. 2 or 3 nights in the teens or the low 20s, and you can do that. You can shut them down.
Well,
and Iceland sounds like it's all icy, but you remember that whole story, right? I may butcher this. They named Iceland to keep people from coming there, and named Greenland, but Greenland is actually more icy than Iceland. So it may sound like, oh, if they could live in Iceland, they could live anywhere. The other place is Antarctica.
Okay.
There are no mosquitoes in Antarctica. And I would guess there wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Probably ever.
I'm already noticing fewer now, though, aren't you?
Yeah, but see, they don't get me like they get you. I don't really notice. I know that there are some mosquitoes out, but I don't really, they don't bother me. I don't really see them. I'm not attractive to them.
Lucky you.
So mosquitoes, now the only continent that doesn't have mosquitoes is Antarctica, but they now are in Iceland, and the scientific people are freaking.
Yeah, transported there likely by freight.
Oh, there
but
you go.
They don't know for sure how they got there. They don't know for sure that they will survive there, but everything indicates that they can probably survive in Icelandic conditions. So we'll see.
So it might have been that they were just never there yet, and then they got there, and they may or may not survive. So it's not necessarily that has anything to do with climate change. Well, if they were never there, but they always could have survived there, then okay, it's not that they all of a sudden can survive there. It's that they're all of a sudden there.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
I think we don't know that they were never there. I mean, I guess somebody could say, well, if freight brought them here this time, freight could have brought them there anytime,
Sure could have.
And they just weren't able to survive.
All right. Okay, that's the Wilder Show podcast. We will continue to watch the story of the NBA gambling scandal, which really just dropped right before we sat down to do this. Instagram, find us on Instagram, search Wilder Show Pod. You'll find it. If you want to send us an email, just send it to podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. So like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And now and again, we're also on the TikTok. Wilder Show on the TikTok. All right. Lauren, thank you.
You bet.
And we'll see you next time. da 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 da.